Naru, along with Sebis and Marie, were on their way to inquire about the initial warrior course. Upon reaching the reception area, they saw that there was a big line. This may be due to the fact that King Arthur had recently announced in the whole empire that they will be hiring more potential warriors, and there will be big rewards given to those who are seen fit to become a higher class status warriors. As they joined the line, the trio couldn't help but overhear snippets of conversations around them. Excitement and anticipation filled the air, with aspiring warriors discussing their hopes and strategies. "I heard they're offering a substantial gold bounty for anyone who makes it to Warrior Class B," whispered a tall young man to his friend. "And that's not all," replied his friend, a stout woman with a determined look. "They're also giving out personalized weapons and armor to those who excel in the trials." Naru glanced at Sebis and Marie, sharing a silent moment of determination. They knew this was their chance to prove themselves and secure a better future. After what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the front of the line. A stern-looking clerk with a stack of parchment and a quill greeted them. "Names?" the clerk asked without looking up. "Naru, Sebis, and Marie," Naru replied confidently. The clerk jotted down their names and handed each of them a form. "Fill these out and return them to the desk on the left. Then proceed to the training grounds for your initial assessment." Taking the forms, they moved to a nearby table and began filling out their information. The questions ranged from basic details about their background to more specific inquiries about their combat experience and which warrior type did they inspire to become. "Have you ever wielded a sword before, Marie?" Sebis asked, glancing at her form. "A few times," she admitted, "but I've always been better with a bow." "I hope they have an archery division." Naru smiled. "I'm sure they do. King Arthur wouldn't overlook such a crucial skill." Once their forms were completed, they submitted them to the designated desk and were directed toward the training grounds. The path led them through a series of courtyards, each bustling with activity. Trainees were practicing swordplay, sparring with each other, and even engaging in mock battles under the watchful eyes of seasoned instructors. The training grounds were expansive, with various sections dedicated to different aspects of warrior training. There were areas for hand-to-hand combat, archery ranges, obstacle courses, and even sections for tactical training and strategy. An imposing figure approached them as they entered the grounds. Clad in armor that gleamed in the sunlight, he carried an air of authority and strength. "Welcome, recruits," he bellowed. "I am Captain Rice, head of the training program. Today, we will assess your current abilities to determine which courses you will be assigned to. Remember, only the best will rise to the higher ranks and earn the rewards promised by the king." He led them to a large field where other hopefuls were already gathered. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and nerves. "First, we'll test your physical capabilities," Captain Rise announced. "You will run the obstacle course, demonstrating your agility, strength, and endurance. After that, you'll move on to combat evaluations where you'll be paired with an instructor." The obstacle course was daunting, filled with towering walls, rope climbs, and muddy pits. Naru, Sebis, and Marie exchanged determined glances before lining up with the others. "On my mark," Captain Riz shouted. "Go!" They sprinted forward, each focused on proving their worth. Naru vaulted over the first wall with ease, his athleticism evident. Sebis tackled the rope climb with sheer determination, his grip firm and steady. Marie navigated the course with agility, her smaller frame allowing her to slip through tight spaces effortlessly. The course was grueling, but they pushed through, encouraged by each other's presence and the promise of what lay ahead. Finally, exhausted but exhilarated, they completed the course and were directed to the combat training area. Here, they would face seasoned instructors in one-on-one bouts designed to test their combat skills and adaptability. Naru felt his heart race as he was paired with a grizzled warrior wielding a practiced sword. "Show me what you've got," the instructor growled, his stance ready. Taking a deep breath, Naru readied himself, determined to prove that he had the potential to rise through the ranks and become one of the kingdom's elite warriors. It was late in the evening, and their initial assessment had just been completed. Along with 200 other interested attendees, Naru, Sebis, and Marie returned home, their bodies aching but spirits high. Marie and Sebis were confident in their abilities to succeed in the initial assessment and be called for the 3-month free course. Naru, on the other hand, was quite pessimistic. He could see where he had made mistakes and was not sure if he would even be able to make it past this initial assessment test. His mind replayed each misstep, from stumbling over an obstacle to a moment of hesitation in combat. Upon reaching home, Naru's father, a once Class D archer-type warrior, was waiting for him. His father's keen eyes scanned Naru, seeking to understand how the day had gone. "How did it go, son?" his father asked, his voice a blend of concern and curiosity. "Tell me everything." Naru sighed, slumping into a chair. "It was tough, father. Marie and Sebis did well, I think, but I made so many mistakes." His father sat across from him, his expression serious yet supportive. "Mistakes are part of the process, Naru. They show us where we need to improve. Tell me, what happened?" Naru recounted the day in detail, from the initial excitement at the reception area to the grueling obstacle course and the intense combat evaluations. His father's face remained impassive, nodding occasionally, absorbing every detail. When Naru finished, his father leaned back, considering his words carefully. "It's normal to feel uncertain after a day like today. But remember, the path to becoming a warrior is not about never making mistakes. It's about learning from them and pushing forward. What matters now is how you use this experience to grow stronger." "But what if I don't get accepted?" Naru asked, his voice tinged with worry. His father gave him a reassuring smile. "Whether you get accepted this time or not, you have already taken a significant step by trying. If you don't make it, you'll train harder, learn from your mistakes, and try again. Perseverance is what makes a true warrior." The following morning, Naru woke up early, still haunted by the doubts that had plagued him the previous night. As he joined Marie and Sebis for breakfast, the air was thick with anticipation. Today, they would find out their results. They made their way to the training grounds, where a large crowd had already gathered. An air of tension and excitement hung over the assembly as they waited for the results to be posted. Finally, a herald emerged from the main building, carrying a long scroll. He unrolled it and began reading the names of those who had been accepted into the 3-month course. Marie and Sebis stood confidently, but Naru's heart raced as each name was called. He could feel his palms sweating, his mind replaying every mistake he had made during the assessment. "Marie Laverne," the herald called out, and Marie let out a triumphant cheer. Sebis hugged her, and they both turned to Naru with encouraging smiles. "Sebis Carter," the herald announced next. Sebis pumped his fist in the air, beaming with pride. As the herald continued down the list, Naru's anxiety grew. His name had yet to be called, and the list was growing shorter. Finally, the herald paused, and Naru's heart sank. It seemed as if time itself had stopped. The crowd grew silent, sensing the importance of the next few names. "Naru Malkov," the herald finally declared. For a moment, Naru couldn't believe his ears. He stood frozen, his mind racing to comprehend what had just happened. Then, a wave of elation crashed over him, and he let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. Marie and Sebis engulfed him in a tight embrace, their cheers mingling with those of the crowd. Naru's father, who had been watching from a distance, smiled with pride and relief. "You did it, Naru!" Marie exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. "We all did it." Sebis clapped Naru on the back. "I told you we would make it. Now, let's show them what we're really made of." As they celebrated, Naru felt a newfound sense of purpose. The doubts that haunted him began to fade, replaced by a determination to excel in the course and prove himself worthy of the opportunity he had been given. The trio returned home that evening, their spirits high and their hearts full of hope. Naru's father prepared a special meal to celebrate, and they spent the night discussing their plans and dreams for the future. Remember, Naru's father said, raising a toast, "This is just the beginning. The real challenge starts now. But with hard work and perseverance, I know you will all achieve great things." Naru nodded, his eyes reflecting the determination he felt. "We'll make you proud, father. We'll make the entire kingdom proud." As they toasted to their success, Naru knew that the path ahead would be difficult, but with his friends by his side and his father's support, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would rise to greatness in the great kingdom of Arcane.